So, hello everybody. My name is Pasha. It's Flashback channel of free people. And traditionally we started our broadcast from very important question. You hear me or not? And maybe you are hear me more better than in the last broadcast. Just write plus. You hear me? Yeah, saying I see first pluses, I see first answers. Beautiful. Yeah, my friends, previous broadcast was rapidly stopped because my electricity was turned off. Sorry, yeah, and it was a shortest broadcast in our history. I think. I hope that in the future we have no trouble with electricity and with other shit, but it's okay. Yeah, if you are hear me, I'm glad to see you here, my friends, in our broadcast. And traditionally, first question, what I'm told for you, it's numbers of Russian losses. Uh, you know, numbers of Russian losers, if it's more than 100,000, we shouldn't count it because it's 10% of general numbers of Russian soldiers. And we understand that this numbers of losers, it's very, very big. For example, for today, it's 134,100 soldiers. 134,000 soldiers. How we know from books and from field manuals, if one side loses more, for example, than 30% of personnel, this side cannot make offensive. Yeah, they can do only defense. But we know that Russian made a mobilization before, and we know that before full-scale invasion, Russia had 1 million army, and now its number more biggest. They lose nearly 15%. Yeah, we should kill maybe 115,000 Russians, and maybe, for example, they disengaged from Ukrainian territory. Yeah, I hope it will be soon. I hope it will be soon. And first information, ICV. It's Institute Study of War. They write that Russia preparing a big offensive for Ukraine on Ukraine, but for this moment, they doesn't have enough strength. Sorry, a lot of states, a lot of countries are here. For this moment, we had 106 viewers, but we had viewers from United States, from New Zealand, from German. Hello everybody, hello all country. I cannot count all countries who are here, but hello my friends. I'm glad to see you here. Yeah, and Russia, Russian government and Russian High Army Commander said that they want to do a big offensive, but now they doesn't have enough strength for a big offensive. What they say is it lose 134,000 soldiers, yeah, but offensive strength not include only soldiers. We should count how many tanks you have. We should count how many artillery you have. For example, missiles, jet, helicopters, and etc. Yeah, and uh, what we know is that Russia, for the last time, used oldest Soviet main battle tanks T-62. And it means that Russia have not enough strength. But it's not trouble for Russia. They doesn't have tanks. Don't worry about it, guys. They just use infantry like a meat. And Laura Morgan writes that Russia is always offensive. Yes, you're right. Russian offensive does stop on a not one moment. They offensive all time while the full scale offensive was started. But now, uh, biggest part of Russian forces concentrated on the Donbas region, and I show you a screenshot from Donbas. It's a element fragment of from map, deep deep state map. It's a map on a free access, open access. Every who wanna check situation in Ukraine for today can just find in a Google deep state map, and you can see how situation on the front line now with English names of cities and villages. Yeah, and we had very difficult situation in Donbas direct and in a Bakhmut. You can see that Bakhmut not fully surrounded. On military terms, it's named tactical surrounded. Uh, it's like a fire pouch, something like this. I don't know how it will be translated on English. Yeah, but it's fire pouch when cities or position, for example, can be under fire from a three sides. Uh, and you can see that in a Bakhmut, it's a very difficult situation. Now, guys from our unit on a Bakhmut direct, I'm every day talking with these guys, and they say to me the situation is real, are difficult. Yeah, it's for example, Russian artillery not so intensive like 3 or 4 months ago. They doesn't have unlimited numbers of ammo for artillery, but I think, in my opinion, they have unlimited numbers of people. They have unlimited numbers of cannon fodder, and we should understand it that now on a Bakhmut we had so difficult situation. Russia maybe after couple days, 5 7 days, uh, can start it from a three, can start offensive, can start assault from a three directs. Uh, it's very difficult for defenders, because we should understand that when we concentrated only on one direct, it's more easy. But when your flanks doesn't safety, it's dangerous. It's really very dangerous. And I think that if we our high com doesn't make decision for correct this situation, I think it will be so bad for Bakhmut. Yeah, defenders now they fighting 24 hours on a day. Russian assaulting doesn't stop. Yeah, and we had in our history, in the history of this conflict, we had the same situation on the Severodonetsk. Why is the situation so similar? Because, for example, when Russian trying to offensive Severodonetsk, they concentrated forces group not less than 10,000 soldiers. Its result that maybe you remember, Mariupol was occupied and a big part of Russian soldiers was moved on other fronts directs. Yeah, and after Mariupol, a lot of Russian forces was moved in Donbas, and they made a big offensive group, and they start very big offensive on a Severodonetsk. Yeah, Severodonetsk defenders. It was our guys. It was armed force of Ukraine and other unit. They stay in this position maybe 2 weeks, but we should understand that offensive group, including 10,000 soldiers with artillery, with main battle tanks, it's not funny. And in this time, they had a big numbers of Luhansk and Donetsk separatists who joined part in offensive. And we understand that they use separatists like a meat, and they did offensive successful. We trying couple times make a counterattack. We liberated couple village near Severodonetsk, and but without successful result. We lose Severodonetsk because very big group. It's more better small group. But in Severodonetsk, we doesn't had enough forces for defending it, because it's for dangerous. Severodonetsk too was surrounded from a three side, and we had very tight way for disengaging. It was a small way from a Siversk. Yeah, but now situation in a Bakhmut not better. If you wanna, yeah, and in this map, every day administrator of this website, deep state map. If you wanna check it, just find in a Google or other find service, deep state map. On this map, every day reported about situation on the front line, and I'm check situation for today. Only on a Donbas direct we had the combat activities, not from Kherson, not on a Zaporizhia, not from a border near Kharkiv, only on a Donbas direct. It means that biggest part of Russian forces, not just simple forces who can attack, concentrated on Donbas region. And we remember that when we lost Solidar, at first they cannot occupy Bakhmut, yeah, and they move into the Solidar. They use a very big number of Wagner prisoners and other shit for assault in Solidar, but they do it successful with aviation and with artillery, and now they have more easier way for moving to the Bakhmut. Situation in a Bakhmut not so good, and we should understand that our defenders cannot stay in a Bakhmut unlimited time. I think when situation will be worst, when, for example, Russian forces who stay now near location Ivanivska in Opatne will be more closer to the Bakhmut. I think that more useful it will be if we disengaged from Bakhmut. But Bakhmut it's not all Ukraine. Yeah, if we disengage it now, maybe after some times we come back in a Bakhmut and liberate it, because we know that we wait big pack of support, we wait tanks, we will format a tanks brigade with Leopard with Abrams, and I think it will be big offensive and successful offensive because uh, my dear, who played in Civilization 5 or Civilization 6, it's computer game. Uh, when Leopard are coming in Ukraine and we are starting offensive, it will be situation like a civilization. Ancient people, it's Russian, with the old Soviet tanks, will meet with modern people who in the future using laser, using I don't know, jets and etc. I think situation will be on our side. Yeah, we just control. We just watching on the situation in the Bakhmut, and I hope always be okay, and always be okay with our guys from our unit. They reported that yes, situation is bad, but they are staying. Uh, they need more devices like drones because Russian regular unit who are resulting in a Bakhmut, they use radio reconnaissance sources. They used uh, anti-radio reconnaissance sources and devices, and our guys need the drones, need the Mavics. And if you want to support our channel, don't forget that thanks for Russian trolls. We are losing our monetization. If you want to support in our channel, supporting our unit, links on our Buy Me a Coffee on our PayPal and describe of the stream, and in a background on your monitor it's Buy Me a Coffee RAM Tarantino and PayPal Flashback RAM at gmail.com. Yeah, and after bad news about Bakhmut, we had good news in Ukraine. Come back, we return 128 children who was movement by Russian in Russia. I think it's I'm translating one word. Yeah, it's a children who was forcibly movement in a Russian from occupied territory, from a Kiev, from a Kherson, and etc. And now these children, with his parents, his children now in Ukraine and European country, they had rehabilitation, they have medical help. It's very very good news. We return not only our war prisoners, not only soldiers, and we worried about our children, because when they kidnapped children, they kidnapped part of our generation. All we here understand that for strong nation, we need a strong generation. And Russia do understand it and kidnapped our kids, and maybe they think it that here's propaganda in Russia changing his mind. But our children, they do very strange people, and I hope that not one emotion of our child who was come back in Russia, they feel to Russia. It's only angry. It's only revenge for Russia. Yeah, but now with this child always okay, and I hope with all Ukrainian child will be okay. But it will be only when Russian Federation is died. Yeah, thank you, okay. Hello, my friend, okay. Yeah, you are right. Rage for Russia. Rage and revenge. And I don't remember. No, I remember. It's one of Russian generals after Chechen wars talking about Chechen soldiers. He said that most dangerous soldiers is soldiers who are coming and home, he doesn't see his home. He see just a big hole after bombing. If soldier losing his family, if soldier who losing his wife, child, he will be very angry. And one emotion one emotion was controlled the soldier during all war. It's only revenge, rage, and angry. It's a revenge for country who are destroyed his house, who are destroyed in his country. And maybe it's sounds so brutal, but Russian activities is motivating a Ukrainian soldier. We see what's Russian doing in our territory. We see what they doing in Kherson, in Kharkiv, on all the occupied territory. We see what they doing when they was in this territory. They kidnapped people. They do murder on Ukrainian cities and Ukrainian village. They are reapers. They are theft cars and etc. It's a parasite, and one emotion, it's rage, and this rage motivate us for liberating and motivate us for destroying Russian occupants on our territory. Yeah, but we can see on a whole city after occupation or during occupation, and on all city what's Russian said that liberated city, because on a Russian media, on a Russian TV, they all time say that they not attack, not occupied Ukraine, they liberated Ukraine. They liberated Ukraine from electricity. They liberated Ukrainian families from his houses, from his cars. They liberated Ukrainian kids from his parents. I don't know. It's just a terrorism, and I'ma show you result of this liberating in a Solidar. It's couple photo from Solidar and one parts of Bakhmut. On this photo, you can see Russian world after Russian liberated. But all we are here, we understand that it's not liberation, it's occupation and terrorism and destroying civilian people, destroying civilian infrastructures. We had a question from Johnny H. Jones. Pasha, slightly off topic, but does NGU allow foreigners in their rank? Johnny, so for this moment, officially, foreigners, foreign volunteers cannot fight in National Guard of Ukraine because by Ukrainian law, foreigners can serve only in armed forces unit or in a foreign legion, international foreign legion in Ukraine. But biggest part of biggest part of situation when National Guard soldiers fight with foreign soldier in one position show for our government that not only in armed forces need foreigners, volunteers. And I hope in a close time soon we can took on a service National Guard foreigners volunteer. I hope, because I wanna make my group again and work with my guys again. So yes, and just one photo again from Solidar. You can see that just here staying a destroyed car, destroyed build, and bicycle in this city was a normal life. Here was a normal life because before Russia is coming on this territory. And when my guys fighting in Severodonetsk, I'm small time was in a Solidar, and I remember this city. When Frontline was nearly 30 kilometers to Solidar, in this city was a normal life. People all lived here, all supermarket worked here, not restaurants because it's a small city, but all infrastructure worked here. In a Solidar was electricity, in a Solidar was gas, and etc. On a Solidar worked gas station, and you can refuel your car, and it was so close to the front line. But when Russia is coming, they show what is mean Russian world, and they show what is mean Russian life. Johnny Jones, thanks for your answer. I said it was the case. It makes sense as you are gendarmerie. Yes, our structures looks like gendarmerie, looks like a carabinary, but we had a lot of types of unit because, for example, once unit special, main task for this unit it's defending nuclear station, for example, yeah, and it's a secrets and regime objects and foreigners can serve in this unit. Second type of unit it's defense public order, riot control and etc. In this unit too cannot serve not Ukrainian civilians, but I'm serving in Operation Task Force Brigade, and I think will be useful if we can give access for foreigners volunteer. I hope that in a close time in Ukrainian law will change this part, and in units like my foreigners can serve officially. I hope. And when this changing will work, I'm invite you. We made a super duper forged unit and go to kick ass for Russian on a Donbas region. Yes. So we don't stopped on a I know and small short news. You see ruined in Ukraine. You see how looks Ukraine after coming Russian world, and I show you what's do this result. What is destroyed? It's Iranian drones Shahed. Today I'm checked the news. The General Intelligence Service of Ukraine reported that Russia used in Ukraine 660 Shahed drones. 660, it's not small numbers. And on a 2 stream ago, reported for you that was damaged factory who made Shaheds, and before drone attack on Iran was made, Iran prepared a big part for Ukraine. No, sorry, a big part of drone for Russia, and Russia had idea use it for Ukraine. But I hope that Russian doesn't took it. It was a good warning for Iran that working with counter terrorist is dangerous. It's a situation when one terrorist country support second terrorist country, but On a one terrorist country like Iran, civilization world can give more strength, suppress and use more sanction because Russia, it's a totally recordsman of world sanction. Russia have more sanction, uh, economical sanction more than North Korea. Yeah, and if Iran doesn't want this result like Russia, they should change his opinion about supporting for Russia. And couple answers on a question. Kellen Dunn. Hello, Kellen. How are you feeling, Pasha? I hope you are fully recovered. And GV asking how many hours of sleep did you have last night? Who lucid previous broadcast? Yeah, I'm full recovered. I do rehabilitation course. Now I'm doesn't use psychiatry pills. I'm okay. I'm slept good when I'm doesn't do broadcast because I'm started our broadcast so late night. Yeah, now in Ukraine, 12:55 of night, 12 hours 55 minutes. Yeah, and maybe I am looks tired, but in general I'm okay. I'm come back to service. Last week I was fully on a field training. I'm a shooting. I'm prepared for my deployment on a Donbas. Yeah, I miss for it. Uh, and Kim Chab asking, how can we get your monetization back? You, my dear, Scandinavian, because it was YouTube decision, because a lot of reported on our channel, Russian hate us. Yeah, and they do so bad activities not on a front line, on a field. Our channel, it's information front line for Russia. And they do broke our front line, but I hope it will be not successful for him. YouTube have couple rules for monetization, and I hope we fixed in a close time. But now we doesn't have it. Again, thanks for Russian trolls and thanks for Russian bots who reported on our channel. Thanks, my dears. Yes, and about last news, I'm cannot told about it. All we, my dears, hear about biggest earthquake in Turkey and in Syria. It was the biggest earthquake from 1939 years. It was the biggest earthquake for the last 80 years. And I'm really sorry for this situation, for Turkish people, for Syrian people, because as a result of this earthquake, Turkish count not less than couple thousand victims, and President Zelensky commented situation, and all world leaders commented situation, and we give a help for Turkey and for Syria how we possible do it. Yeah, and if it's interesting for you, you can just in a Google find just earthquake in a Turkey, for example, and first link it will be special table with a statistic about this earthquake. And earthquake doesn't stop. Every day they had a punch underground. And just a check, if you try to find earthquake in a Turkey, Google show for you special table with power of this underground punch, with this earthquake. And yeah, I am check last news about it. During all earthquake in Turkish and in Syria, numbers of victims 7,800. Susan Western said 11,000. Yes. Different information. One source said that it's 8,000. One source said 11,000. But it's doesn't matter. It's a big tragedy. A lot of building ruined. A lot of people was died as a result of this earthquake. Yeah, it is so sorry for Turkish people. Yeah, so nature, we can make prognosis what nature will do tomorrow. For example, we cannot be know on a 100% this earthquake doesn't start in Ukraine tomorrow or in Russia or in another country. Because nature is unpredictable. Yeah, in a world, a lot of tornado, a lot of floating. Be in this, it's so sad, really, that we cannot do nothing. We can't do nothing with the situation. Here in the calendar, have a question: how Max is doing in a Bakhmut? Do you think Bakhmut defense will hold? In the start of our broadcast, I'm talking that holding of Bakhmut is so difficult for our defenders because we had a situation in a Bakhmut. It's tactical surrounded, not full surrounded, like it was Mariupol. It's tactical surrounded. 3 sides on a Bakhmut controlled by enemies, and I think we will hold Bakhmut not so long time because biggest numbers of victims we are fighting every day. Russia is in 24 hours per day, and Russian assaulting don't stop. When a lot of prognosis talking about biggest Russian offensive, they told about Kharkiv offensive, Kiev offensive, but biggest offensive now on a Bakhmut direct. And if we check situation, if we check situational report from Bakhmut, not only from Bakhmut, if we check situation report from all Frontline, we can see that combat activities now only on a Donbas direct, only on a Avdiivka and only on a Bakhmut. And it's so sorry, it's so bad that last news was not happy, but I think now time started talking about good news. And once of good news, it's that 17 Ukrainian soldiers from air defense forces now going in Germany for studying for air defense system Patriot. What this mean? It's a signal that are soon in a Patriot coming more Patriots Ada, and we will fight against Russian missile more effective. Now with our old system and with couple system who our partners give for us, we're so successfully fighting against Russian missiles, against Russian drones. For example, when Russia launching 100 missiles, we're destroying 80-85%. It's a very good result. It's very good success. Yeah, we cannot destroy 100% because we have not enough numbers of modern air defense system. But I think when Ada Patriot come in Ukraine, we change the situation. Yes, uh, my dears, all support brigades is coming in Ukraine. They change the situation on a front line. When NLAWs coming in Ukraine, they showing that we can effectively fighting against Russian tanks. When Javelin coming, we more successful fighting against tanks. When uh, foraging air defense system coming, we show that we can fight against Russian missiles more successful. And when HIMARS come in, we changed the situation on the front line. We liberated our territory with the biggest strength than before. And we show a good result with partners vehicle. We show a good result with partner support. We doesn't waste it. We use it and use it successful. Yeah, and we continue good news. 2 days ago or three, in a Belgorod was burned, maybe arsoned, maybe personal again smoked in a dangerous place, but was burned factory. It's a metal factory, and interesting fact. On this factory was made it details for Crimean bridge. What this means? It means that when we again make a bavovna, how we say it in Ukraine, in a Russian bridge, they not repair it so fast, not repair this so quickly. I think it's a warning for Russian soldier who stay in the Crimea that liberation of Crimea is soon, and we give a chance for Russian that they can leave from a Crimea. Because when we started the offensive, we took this opportunity for him. And Russian forces who stay in the Crimea will have only two variants: diet or surrender. Its decision depends only from Russia. And not only photo, I had a video how factories in Belgrade are burning. So I liked video like this. Yeah, Russian strategic infrastructure. So beautiful burning. Yes. And Fields of Revenge, it's not only Ukrainian future. Russia too try and make a patriotic. So I should translate it. Word. Russian too try to make patriotic mood between civilian people, and Russian try to motivate his soldier. But how you can motivate a soldier who just who not soldier, who just occupants? But not about it for now. Russian oil company Forest will pay 5 million rubles, Russian rubles. It's so shit money for soldier who destroyed in Ukraine Abrams and Leopard. For example, for first MBT Abrams or Leopard, company Forest promised for Russian soldier 5 million rubles. But for jets, for aircraft of Western types like a F-16, this company promised 25 million of rubles. Or no, I'm just do fact checking. 15 million rubles. But so interesting that in this post they write it that for first Abrams or Leopard. But on a previous stream, I show you screenshots that Russian media reported about destroying Abrams on a Solidar and destroyed Abrams on a Bakhmut. Uh, for this situation, they destroyed not less than two Abrams. It's not problem that Abrams doesn't come in Ukraine. They destroyed two. Why not? Fucking oil company, give money, give 10 million rubles. And it's not done. It's not finished. News about Westerns, MBT, Russian media show guide for civilian people and for military how successful destroyed Abrams tank. You can see that on this photo they show most dangerous for Abrams places. It's a guide how destroyed Abrams. I think it's not so useful for civilian people and for what they waste Ethereum time for showing how destroying Abrams. I think that for Russian old women and for old men, for grannies, don't interest how destroying Abrams. I think for him will be more interesting with the propaganda, how about Putin, about his bunker, but they think that so funny. And second guide about Abrams, it's guide how Wright destroyed Abrams with a shovel. It's a joke. I think it's a Ukrainian joke, but looks so funny. On this instructions and this guide described how Wright using shovel for destroying Abrams, and for example, punch on a optics devices, punch on a cannon, punch on a flank of tanks. Yeah, it looks like a big Russian success. Oh, thank you. Just what I can say about this situation. Just good luck, Russian. We wait when you, with a shovel, will try to destroy our Western tanks. Good luck. Good luck. And I see in the comments one comments that Russians scared these tanks. Yes, when Germany agreement movement Leopards to the Ukraine, big numbers of country promised for Ukraine tanks Leopard, and it was important news in all TV channel in Russia, in all media sources in Russia. Yeah, and all Russians discuss only about Western tanks in Ukraine. They all time talking about red lines. No HIMARS, red lights. No M777, red lines. No tanks, red lines. I think that when Western world and when partners give us nuclear bomb, only Russian propagandists will say, no, 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 no nuclear bomb. It's red lines. But for Ukraine, Russian red lines, it's nothing. It's just words, and no more. Yes, and so one funny video, maybe not funny, but interesting video from a Frontline. Who see before Frontline jacuzzi? I seen no one army in the world doesn't have Frontline jacuzzi, but Ukrainian volunteers made it for our guys. Just see it. I watch your video.
Кожного дня хлопці
Relax tube.
отримали таке заохочення від таких виробника таких чанів.
So it's a beautiful Frontline jacuzzi.
Правильно воює, той має
I doesn't have a jacuzzi in my flat,
в Україні працювати.
but guys on the Frontline have it. Yeah, it's a
Ну і дякую, до речі,
good
компанії
good
«Релакс».
opportunity for have shower
Кілометрів від
for the hygienic procedures, and I think it's a good relax for guys who are tired on a front line. Yeah, only in Ukrainian volunteers have made a fucking frontline jacuzzi. I'm sorry for my bad words. Yeah, okay, you're right. It's a Red Bull time because so late in Ukraine, 1 hours and 50 minutes. I hope you're not so tired when you're watching our broadcast. I hope you had only relax and don't worry it. Maybe somebody watching it in a jacuzzi. I hope. Yeah, and every now that I'm come back on a service, I'm every day on a service. Yeah, jacuzzi a red line. Yes, I think jacuzzi it's illegal. Maybe Russian doesn't watch this video. When they watch this video, they will warn us about using nuclear weapon because jacuzzi it's illegal for war. Yeah, and I'm continue. You know that I'm come back to the service and I doesn't have unlimited time at night for my broadcast. And you see that now broadcasts not so often. Yeah, because I'm start broadcast only when I have opportunity. And I can't do it so long. Maybe on a holidays I will do broadcast for 2 hours. We will discuss it new news and I show you more funny situation from Ukraine. But in work days I'm not, so I cannot make a long broadcast. Yeah, no more than 1 hour 30 minutes, 1 hour 20 minutes, because at 7 o'clock I should wake up and go to the service. It's so sad, but yeah, Borstville, we will miss your broadcast, Pasha, but we are happy that you are better and you will go help your friends and squad mates. Thank you, Borstville, for your comments. Don't miss for my broadcast. I promise that I will launch my broadcast only when I have opportunity. Yeah, I promise it. It always be okay. I think that now we had a short time for your question and my answer. Maybe we discussed something. Just ask it, and I am answered on all your questions. And first question, it's Christina S. Pasha, when is your birthday? It's a good question. It's an interesting question. My birthday at 11 July. Yeah, it's summer. Not so close. At 11 July. What is the name of a camel video? What a camel video you mean, my right, Duncan? What do you mean? Kim Chup, send us picture of your frontline pets. Doesn't have a lot of photo from frontline pets, So my battery is died. Yeah, I have one funny video when I was in Severodonetsk was surrounded by small cats. I show you its video on the next broadcast. Sorry, I cannot share it something for you now. But yeah, I prepared some material for our pets. Louis Highsmith, my grandfather's birthday. I think only greatest people born at 11 July. But uh, my name, Pavel, it's very close connected with Ukrainian Slavian traditions. Yeah, because at 12th July we had Religions Day. It's Petra и Pavla. Yeah, and I was named. I was named. Translate this phrase. I was named after Apostle Pavel because I was born before 1 days of Patriot, Petr and Pavel Day. Yes. And Jack, Jack asked when this is our where would you like to travel? Thank you for the question. Before full-scale invasion and for this day, I'm no one don't live from Ukraine. I'm don't was in other country. I was in a couple cities in Ukraine, in the biggest part city of Ukraine, but I doesn't was like a tourist in no one country. I think when war is done and I will have a rest, a long rest, or I will retire from army, I'm started my travel. Uh, I'm started my travel from Ukrainian interest country, from west of Ukraine, and I'm go to Poland for my friends from Poland. And at first, I will go uh, on a East European country. I wanna go to not Eastern Europe country. I want to go to Balkans country in Montenegro, in Croatia, in Serbia. I want to see how difference between European choose country like Croatia and Russian choose country or Serbia. I want to watch difference. And after this, maybe it's will be France, Italy, Spain, and Great Britain. I hope. I hope. And in a so uh, so far dream it's coming in United States because my friends from California, from Texas, it's guys, uh, it's my volunteers, it's my soldiers. I invite these guys, and they are inviting me in Texas, in California. I hope I do it, and I come in. Imre asked, what do you think of Telegram? Is it most propaganda from both sides there, or can you find any useful info? Best to stay away completely. You know, Telegram is just a messenger, and in this messenger, everybody can make a group. Yeah, and in Telegram, we have very useful groups with weather, for example, or with the last news, with a true last news. I'm, for example, subscribed on a history channel in a Telegram, and it's too very interesting. But how I said, everybody can make a group in Telegram, and you can use this messenger for propaganda. Uh, for good propaganda and for bad propaganda, for true and for lie, but we can say it about every social networks. For example, we have on a Facebook not only pro-European pro-European groups of social group. We had in the Russian propagandist social group, and we can say it about Reddit, about Pinterest, about Twitter, every social networks. I'm translate this word. Oh, today I'm so often use translator. Sorry. Uh, all social networks are vulnerable, assailable to propaganda. Yeah, and our task our task is filtered this propaganda. It's choose right groups. It's add good friends, not Russian bots. It's reading only true news. We can choose it by self. If you see that, for example, community in a Facebook, so pro-Russian, or you had a difference way by your life, just not subscribes on this group. In YouTube, same. Yeah, we should filter the information. It doesn't matter from social networks or from sources. Surfer Des coming in Puerto Rico. You take harem. Thank you. It's good and white. Thank you. But maybe I will be married when a war is done. Harem, not interesting for me, I think. But now, thanks for invite. Murray Duncan, come to New Zealand Oblast. It's so funny when you use Ukrainian words like oblast, or when you translate in on a Ukrainian thank you that you do it. Thank you that you try and write in Ukrainian. It's a very nice. Thank you. XOXO. What do you think about China helping Russia with components so they can build bombs? What does Ukraine say about this? Our problem is that Ukraine doesn't have influence on China, but United States of America warning China about support of Russia, and Chinese support. It's not. Chinese support is hiding. Yes, they doesn't talk on a whole world that we are China and we are support Russia. It's a support on a black market. They sell chips, they sell for Russia computer technology and etc. By that, they do it hiding. But United States warning Chinese about it, and they warning that if China will continue to support Russia with a black market and etc., it will be very bad consequences for China, because we understand that China it's a very big percent in a European market, for example, in a East European market, in a West European market. For China, very important, have a big part in a business in Europe and in United States. If China will be under sanctions like Russia, it will be very bad for China. I think they talking about it. They thinking about American warning for him, and they made the right decision. But Ukraine cannot influence on it. Kaelin Dunn writing, I'm happy that American support for Ukraine is bipartisan. Most Americans support Ukraine. Yes, you know, support of America, it's a very, very important support for Ukraine. And for United States, it's important supported Ukraine because Ukraine, it's democracy country. It's Ukrainian democracy. It's sample of American democracy. We try and do it. We try to do white politics. We try to defeat corruption by American scheme and by European scheme. And when Russia disagreed, because Russia, it's a Soviet types country, corruption for it it's okay, dictators for his it's okay, but Ukrainian choose other way, and I think Americans see that we choose right course and they support us. Not only American, all country who doesn't choose communism and who doesn't choose dictators, all three countries support us, and all country who doesn't scare with Russia support us. And European country understand that if Russia win in Ukraine, it's not enough for Russia. After 2 years, they continue on his offensive, and after Ukraine, it will be Moldova, maybe Poland, maybe other country. Ukraine enough for Western world. It's like a big wall with security who defending Western world from Russian occupants and from Russian army. Yeah, it's reason why countries, European country and other civilized countries support us. Elo and Archer, most people here in United Kingdom supports Ukraine across all politics. I hope we send you planes, Verizon, and many tanks. Today I'm watching news, and in this news was report that British volunteers community fundraising for Ukraine 400 million funds sterlings. 400 million. It's the biggest civilian fundraiser for Ukraine. Yes, thank you, Great Britain. Thank you for your support. And I heard that our president were impressed British people and the British government when they had visit in Great Britain. I think it's a good symbol for Ukrainian and British partnerships. I hope that always be okay. And Kellen Dan asked, do you think Ukrainian army is fully prepared for the new Russian offensive? Say strong and safe Ukraine defenders. Thank you, Kellen Dan. My answer is Russian offensive doesn't done, and I think the new Russian offensive, and it's this offensive on a Donbas with biggest offensive groups army. For Russia doesn't have enough strength for make a new frontline direct. If they start offensive on a Kiev, it's suicide for Russian because it doesn't have enough tanks, it doesn't have enough artillery, so it doesn't have enough missile and etc. Yeah, and I think that New offensive, it's offensive on a Donbas. In Christina C question, I have a silly question. What's the difference between Ukraine abbreviations, UA and UKR? It's similar to US and United States America. Are both okay to use? Yeah, I think that are both okay to use. But for example, Ukrainian sportsmen on a uniform use abbreviation UKR, UKR. But on on a Ukrainian goods, by international standards, we are market like Ukraine. Both are right, but it's depends from situation. Okay, my dear, thank you for your question. Thank you that you was on our broadcast, and I should go to my bed. I should go sleep before my hours tomorrow. Not tomorrow, today in Ukraine, 1 a.m. 35 minutes. Thank you that you was on our broadcast. Thank you for your activity in the chat. Thank you for your question, and thank you for your support, my dears. Don't forget that we are losing monetization. You cannot use super chat and etc. Sources for our support, it's Buy Me a Coffee and PayPal. Our new fundraising is for drone for Bakhmut defenders, because how I described in the previous videos, drones drones in army not endless, and we so often lose it before Russian radio reconnaissance working, and Russian destroyed it. We'll lose drones, and we need a lot of drones. We use Mavic 3. It's a commercial drone, not military, but it's very useful for reconnaissance on a battlefield, and it's useful for do small diversion with a grenade and etc. Work of our drones you can see on our channel. Yeah, thank you for your support. Thank you that you was on our broadcast. It was a Pasha stream number 10. See ya later. Stand with Ukraine, and we are win. So close.